Everybody, thanks for joining the Disability Digest live Q&A. This is an event that we just take the common questions that have come in, well, in this instance over the last week, a few notables, answer those. Anything else that you would like to have addressed that we could help with, and our effort here is to provide information for you to help you get and or maximize your disability benefits. So thank you for your time and attention today. A few things I want to talk about today is, get my notes back up, is I want to talk about the big picture relative to helping people maximize their benefits. A couple of examples of where people are looking to maximize their benefits, and it seems to me that they're not considering some other options. Who to listen to is another thing I want to talk about today, and I have a few questions about Mexico and some employment-related information. So that's what I have on tap. So if you have questions that you would like to have answered, if you want to type those in, I'll do my best to squeeze those in at the end to do that. So first thing, regarding the big picture and maximizing benefits, this is a situation from a conversation that I had this week with Terry, who had contacted us, wanted some help maximizing her benefits, was having a challenge with rent, living expenses, making it all work. On her gross income was around $1,500 a month. And that was a disability check and a small pension. So she was looking to relocate, find different housing, and she was really tight by like $100, $140 a month that she just wasn't able to come up with. So provided some housing information and a strategy for her to look, but I don't know if you're going to get much better in the area that she was in. She was on the East Coast, and housing is just, you know, typically expensive. Seem to have a pretty decent deal, and I'm not a housing expert when it comes to pricing in each geo area. But the question was kind of meandered back to healthcare, because one of the things that we've found is there are people that are overpaying for their healthcare. There's like 5 common ways to reduce your healthcare cost. The most common one is the Medicare Part B, $135.50 that people are paying for, and oftentimes they don't. But that wasn't the situation here, because her income was such that she was over the allowed threshold that would qualify her for extra help. So the direction of the questions went to, okay, so do you have any out-of-pocket medical expenses, which she did, about $35 a month. And that's medications that weren't, that she had to pay above and beyond the copay. So call that $400 a year. In addition to that, she had a Medicare supplement. And the Medicare supplement was just for her meds, was to cover her meds. And she was paying $77 for the supplement, plus she had still had $35 out of pocket for that. So we was taking a look at that, and what it really came down to is there's an opportunity to reduce that. That's like $1,333 a year, you know, somewhere around there. To reduce that out-of-pocket expense down to probably maybe $200 or even less, and to help her out with being exposed to a significantly catastrophic financial event. So here's where I'm going with this. With the Medicare supplement she was on, she had the extra out-of-pocket expense that if she transitioned to one of several options for a Medicare Advantage plan, she could get most of her drugs covered and reduce that expense. She wouldn't have the $77 a month. She would have very low, if no, copays that would reduce that. So with an Advantage plan in that area, there was zero premium. So basically all, you know, except $200 can go away. But the other problem that in her financial equation that was there was that She was just on Medicare A and B and that drug supplement. So, and she was going in for a surgery this week, which was a $10,000 surgery. And so she was on the hook for 20% of that with Medicare, $2,000. And she's like, I don't know, I'm going to pay for this. So that's the other thing, that she would still have that if she likely went to an Advantage plan. But with an Advantage plan, they cap the catastrophic out of pocket on an annual basis. It's somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000. So if that was a $100,000 procedure, for example, which can happen, we had a lady that had a massive heart attack that had an $800,000 catastrophic event. You're on the hook for 20% of that. So she wasn't covered. So those are some things that gave us some advice to go on her way. So when you're looking, here's my point. She was looking for housing information to address her housing costs so she could find a more affordable housing. And basically she found it in another area of her life where she could do that on the Medicare side. So, just take a look at that. One other thing too is if she transitioned to one of those Medicare Advantage plans, they have what they call an OTC program where you can get over-the-counter goods that you normally purchase from a drugstore and you get a voucher, or you can get them out of a catalog, like up to $400 a year, which is another area where she could save on toothpaste, shampoo, toilet paper, pretty much anything from a drugstore is in a catalog like that. So those were a few tips. On to my next topic about who to listen to, which kind of is a dovetail back to this one. Her advice to go on to this plan was given to her by her doctor. Go figure, right? I mean, I don't see it the same way, but so be careful who you listen to. And here's my next point that I want to bring up is we were contacted by a member named Jenny, called, left a message, called her back. And she's like, what is this all about? I don't remember signing up for a membership here. And so I explained what we do. I said, listen, and she was going through the disability process. I said, we're advocates here. We help people get on their Social Security disability benefits. That's what you had registered for in your membership and had indicated. And we do it with a free two-part strategy, show you how to do it on your own, how you can use a done-for-you strategy, compare both options. It's worked around 10,000 times. It's short, quick, condensed version of what we do. And she's like, oh, well, I have an attorney. And I said, well, that's great. I said, we're not attorneys. I said, we're advocates. We do this at no charge with a strategy. There's a video in your inbox that shows you how to do that. And she said, well, my lawyer told me not to talk to anybody. I said, that's great. Again, I'm not a lawyer. So she was very polite about it. And I said, listen, I just want you to understand this. I respect your position. I respect your attorney's position. But how do you know if your attorney is doing the right thing? I said, these are a few considerations. And she said, oh, good point, I don't. But she said, I really want to respect him because, I just started with him. I said, well, all right, do that. But I want you to keep in mind, do a little research about what you're vulnerable and what you're susceptible to by listening to that strategy. And I'm not certain why attorneys do this. I don't actually know for sure. Maybe they don't want other people messing with their clients. Get it? But if you are a consumer going through the process, like anything else that's significant in your life, I encourage you to understand what they should be doing so you can monitor the process. So for example, if you go through and use our mini course, you're taught how to fill out the forms. So if your forms are being asked to be filled out by yourself, that's fine. You should take them, fill them out, send them to your representative. If they're being filled out by your representative, have them sent back to you, compare them with the notes that we have, which is done by a top-notch disability attorney, and say, okay, well, maybe they're on track, maybe they're not. Just one simple example so that you can know that the documents are being filled out on time. And then there's doctor support information. There's like countless tips from members that have come through here. We had 3 yesterday that did audio recording contributions for you, all from their approval experience that you could learn from. So just take in the information that you can so that you are going to be able to learn and take responsibility for the process and get you through. Otherwise, leaving it on that autopilot, approval mentality is dangerous, and it's the same back to taking just the doctor's advice to getting a Medicare supplement, where she's been vulnerable for years. So all right, I'm going to stop rambling on that. So here's the other thing. Last week I talked about some of the positions that we have open here at the Disability Digest. We have work-at-home positions called advocate positions that we are looking for. And some of the questions that came in before applicants applied and even after, I just want to speak to those. We certainly welcome them. But working here, in most cases I'm going to speak for, is not a quick fix. So if you are in a situation where you need like massive financial repair, it certainly is not the situation here. And I do know others in the industry that like you can go to JLodge, you can work there, you can do some stuff on Upwork. All of those places where I've seen other members become successful, they're just not quick, large financial fixes. If they were, boy, I'd consider checking them out. So a few other tips. When you go through the application process for here and other places, I encourage you to really take your time and listen to the application page and what's being asked. And because information is not complete, it's not thorough, some questions are missed. It's left open and optional here on purpose so that we ask for all the answers, but we don't make it mandatory. In some cases, kind of a test, right? So just be careful when you go through the application process. And one other thing I just want to remind people of is if you're in a situation where you're looking or feel like you want to do something on your own, like online, I feel personally there is a massive amount of opportunity for somebody to simply pull out a camera like this, start a Facebook group, and start building a business. And if somebody was to do that and would be interested in partnering with the Disability Digest, we're certainly open, and we can help you monetize it, meaning make money at doing it. And what would help us and our members is if there were specific groups on certain conditions. Like we have groups that help people get on their benefits. We work with like 50, 60 at a time. We have Maximize Your Disability group, but we don't have all the answers to everything. So if there were groups for fibromyalgia, if there were groups for depression, if there were groups for MS, and other people were running them and answering questions, and we could support that with the resources that we did here, and you were doing video and you were doing good content, that's the foundation of building a business. And I think it's ideal for somebody that is on disability because it's flexible, right? And it totally fits within the guidelines of keeping your benefits because, it's not like you're doing something more than 20 hours a week. You're putting up a video or 2 a week and putting some content. So that is totally in line. So keep that in mind, and if that's something that you feel that you're doing and you have some traction in, we'd like to take a look at what you're doing and seeing if we could work together on it. Last point is Mexico. 2 times this week, and I see that there's other questions here. I'll touch on those. 2 times this week I have spoken with people that are moving to Mexico. And they're moving to Mexico because of the housing costs. Like you can get for $400 a month a fantastic 2-bedroom place in a nice community, and also the dental care and the general health care down there is getting good reviews. So I'd like to learn more about this and see if there is anybody that's done this, that's considering doing this, so that maybe we could put together a housing tip for people. Because, you know, if you're spending $900 to live in a place, which seems to be the common price tag, and you can do it for $400 in a nice warm climate, why not? So love to hear from anybody if you've got experience with that. All right. Somebody, okay, I see the question here from Martha about elaborate about working while on disability, what expenses can be deducted and how do you do that? Okay, great question. Sure, so as of right now, you can, if you're approved for Social Security disability, you can earn $880 a month, and if I remember, I'll put it in the show notes here, but you can just go out onto our YouTube channel or contact, if you're a member here, hopefully you are, if not, join us. Just reply to any of the emails and our support desk will send you the information, but it's $880 a month, and there's a few notables on that. If you are earning the $880 a month as an employee, then it is your gross income that is being earned. And so that means that if you go over 880, then you're over your limit. If you are doing this as an independent contractor, so that you're either doing something on your own or you're working for somebody else and you're getting a 1099, then it is the $880 a month on average annually. So when you file your taxes after your expenses, it would be $880. So what does that mean for $880 after taxes? Well, you can deduct your standard workplace expenses. Here's one of them: your cell phone, your internet access, your headset, your computer, all that stuff, the obvious stuff. And for people that are on disability, there are workplace impairment, or workplace expenses. I'm trying to remember exactly what they are, but there's several of them. Like if you need special accommodations, or you need assistance, or if you need like assistance, like somebody to come into your house to make that work, there's a variety of workplace expenses. That actually would be a good topic to go over in one of the upcoming shows. It's been a while since I visited that. So those are some of your options. Now, if people say, well, usually, well, what happens if I go over the $880 a month? If you're working for somebody and you go over the $880, then your trial work periods are going to kick in, and that gets you into the Ticket to Work program. Same thing if you are doing the 1099. But the other way to look at the 1099 business is this, and this is all legal. You can form a corporation, and the funds that you earn can go into your corporation, and then the corporation can pay you a check like under the $880 a month, and then can disperse funds to pay for your other expenses. And perhaps as that business is growing, it requires that you have other people that are helping you work in it, and you're paying them. So that reduces the money that comes out of the corporation. So that's a common structure that has worked for people. Now, this is my opinion. If you are running a corporation that is doing like $70,000 or $80,000 a year, and you're taking your $880 a month out, and you're the only one working, and all the money staying in the corporation, you're going to have a problem. I just think that you're going to have a problem. But if you are doing that well, then you can gradually work yourself off of benefits or go through a trial work period. So I hope that answered your questions. Or let me just see if there's anything else that we wanted to touch on today. Okay. Nope, that's it. So listen, a few things to wrap up. If you are a member here at the Disability Digest, and you have, for example, if you've recently been approved or something has changed with you, we commonly send out requests for updates, and the reason why we do that, and I'm going to use somebody that's recently approved because that's typically the biggest benchmark, is we change your membership and then we help you with information relevant to maximizing your benefits. Prior to that, we're going to help you get your benefits approved. So we send you, get in touch with you, meet with you, go through a strategy, get you the courses that you need that are going to help you do that. Now, if you're approved, you don't need those courses anymore. What you need is other information to maximize your benefits, transition to Medicare, reduce your healthcare expenses, housing, how much you can make and keep your benefits, all that stuff. So give us an update if you've recently been approved, and if you haven't been sent the form or you didn't pay attention to your email like so many people are not doing now, just reach out to us. You can text us at 484848. That's one way to do it. You can reply to any of the emails here, or if you're not a member here, then join us at thedisabilitydigest.com. It is a free membership. There's no cost for like a radio or TV station where we have this programming, courses to help you get and maximize your benefits, and we have sponsors that fund us along the way, and ads on our websites and our videos. So that's how we've been able to keep your membership free for you, and that's what we work very hard to do. So, and the more members we have, the more sponsorship dollars, the more money we have, the more funding we have to provide better programming for you. So join us. If you know others that that could benefit from this as well, we would appreciate it if you'd give them a shout out. So remember, 484848 is how you can text us. Or join us at the Disability Digest. Try to be here most Wednesdays, so check us out. Come on back on our Facebook page. Just have a look for the notices for that. So I'll put some of the things that I mentioned today in the show notes. And in closing, I want to thank you for your time and attention, taking time out of your day today. There's always, I'm sure, somewhere else you could be, and you chose to be here, which is fantastic, because if it wasn't for you, the members, we'd probably be doing something else. So anyway, thanks again. Been Brian Terrian. Make it a great day. Until the next time.